Who has made it out here on a Thursday at noon Eastern. It's 9 a.m. on the West Coast. It's probably 9 p.m. or midnight in some of the countries of folks that are tuning in for training. But most of us are here in the U.S. We're going to focus this on a lot of those types of things today. This is the Thursday Training Limiter. I'm Andy, the Inkster Grider. I am really excited to have you here, and I want to thank you each for taking the time to come here to learn the steps and tools and ideas that can help you grow your Inkway business. We're going to help you find your best approach to building a successful business within the Inkway model. We're going to go over a lot of different things today, talk about what Inkway can do for you. $400 a month is a number we hear an awful lot when we get into talking to both our distributors and general folks about what they want per month. 200 to 500, but the number usually falls at right around 400. Lend you back into your pocket that you need each month, and maybe be able to show you how to pick up more. Part of it really depends on how hard do you want to work. How much time can you devote to your business? Is this a full-time venture? Is it a part-time venture? Is this a hobby? A hobby I would describe as anywhere between 0 and 5 hours a week. Anything between 5 and 20 gets into part-time. Anything 25 plus-ish gets into closer to full-time. Most people that are working this business are working it somewhere between 10 and 25 hours a week, and some as low as an hour a day, down to like 5 to 7 hours a week. So what can you do? What steps do you begin to need to take when you're becoming an Inkway distributor, whether you're a founder or whether you're an elite distributor? Either way. Because if you're a founder, you're also an elite distributor. So when I talk about elite distributors, I'm talking about everybody here. So what steps do you need to take? Well, begin talking daily about your ability to refill for 50 to 75% off. Okay? Again, 50 to 75% off is what you can give people when you do refills for them. If you're refilling their cartridges with one of our inkjet refill stations, it can be as much as 75% off what they would pay at the big box stores, the discount stores, the office supply stores, wherever else you want to look at it that way. You can get up to 75% off just by refilling your own cartridges. If we sell them an inkjet refill station, it can get even better than that. It can get down to 8 cents a milliliter. Okay, that's less than $1 per cartridge to refill on your own at that point, if they purchase an inkjet refill station and become an elite distributor. If they just purchase one, that's not bad either. That's a nice little quick spiff in your pocket and 10% override on your sales. So not a bad thing. If they become a distributor, you make even more. So let people know about your replicated website and the lower prices that are there. We'll talk about how to do that here in a little bit and how to use social media to run that. But also set a schedule you can hold to each week. It doesn't matter if it's 5 hours a week, if it's 20, if it's 40. If you're going to set a schedule for yourself, set it and keep it. It's consistency, daily activity, and making sure that you're expressing yourself in the right manner are probably the 3 biggest keys to success in this business. And I'm basing that not on some hokum theory of what's going on out there. I'm basing that on the people that actually are working the business and are doing well with it. I'm basing that on my own personal experience and on my own experience of having owned many, many businesses from the ground up over the last 25 years. So let's go ahead and move on here. What steps do you need to take? Well, we just showed you a couple of them. Now, ways to begin your business. So if you think about it this way, if you get 8 people who come in who want to be elite distributors just like you, and just the referral bonuses, as long as they stay on for the year, your monthly business expenses are pretty much covered. In fact, you're $40 in the black. It's a good thing. You find 5 people to refill for each week, and you ask them to refer you to friends. That will start to grow your business. It will start to run word of mouth. You'll start seeing increases in what's going on with your business. I talked about messaging and how you talk about this a little bit earlier, but take the time to talk to them about your new business in a helpful, not salesy manner. Hey, where do you pick up your ink cartridges? Oh, I go to XYZ store. Do you realize you're paying almost $9,000 a gallon when you buy from them? Doesn't that sound pretty ludicrous? Yeah, it really kind of does. I can help you. I can show you how to save a lot of money that way. I can either refill for you. I've started my own business. I do ink refills on the side. During the day I drive truck, and my wife's a school teacher. But at night we both turn into ink man and ink woman, and we go out and refill for other people. We have a web store that you can buy from if you don't want us to refill for you. Would you be interested in knowing more about that so you don't have to pay $9,000 a gallon for your ink? Usually that helps. Again, you're not being salesy. You're not screaming it right in your face. You're getting them into a conversation about what you do and that you've just launched a new business. And if you show excitement and you show them that this is a cool thing, some of them are going to want to take part in the same business. Hey, can I do that too? Could I become an ink man? Can my wife become an ink woman? Could my husband become an ink man and I'll become the ink woman? However that works out. All right. Some other ways to make money here. Setting up a fundraiser. Couple different ideas. Sports teams, you can give back 10 to 20% back to the team. So when you sit down to refill these cartridges, maybe you're charging, instead of $15 a cartridge, you're charging $20. And because it's a fundraiser, they'll usually pay it pretty happily. It will get you through those inkjet refill stations pretty darn quickly. So even if you're a founder and you picked up 4 of them for a unit, and maybe you bought 3 units, so you've got 12 of these kits sitting there, and you're going, what do I do with these inkjet refill stations? Well, set up a fundraiser. You'll go through quite a bit of ink doing this, and you give back a good bit of money to the teams. Churches, same thing. Nonprofits, same thing. But all of them build customer base for you ongoingly, because these people who had you refill for them, some of them are going to come back and say, will you refill for me again? Some of them will say, hey, where do I get one of those inkjet refill stations? Maybe a few of them will even say, I want to be able to do fundraisers. Show me how to get involved. By the way, that's Wednesday nights at 8 Eastern. And some of them will go, hey, I appreciate you refilling my cartridges, but I'm ready to buy new ones. And you say, hey, did you ever hear about these refillable, reusable cartridges? They come as a little empty Tupperware, looking cartridges. You pop the little tab on them, you fill them up, you get an inkjet bottle pack in those, and you're good to go. And then you don't ever have to buy more cartridges again. Or you can go on my web store and you can look for your cartridges, and we can get you OEM cartridges, original equipment manufacturer cartridges that'll cost 10 or 15% less than the retail. So again, you set up a customer base. A fundraiser should, especially if you get their contact information, become a great recurring customer base. Because even though they came to you for a fundraiser once, they're going to need ink again. And who are they going to come back to? Most likely, if you do it right, you. All right, let's talk about daily activities, some other potential ones. Placing ads online. If you use your store link and you use something, so you redirect it, you can go to GoDaddy and buy yourself a new URL, a new web address, and redirect it to your inkjet refill link, your store link. Or you can use Bitly or any of the other URL reducers that bring it down to a small number of characters and use that to push this out there. You point to specials within the store, potentially like these refillable, reusable cartridges. I've placed plenty of ads with a link to those on the website. I've gotten some traction. Some people have actually gone in and ordered an inkjet bottle pack. But usually those are the kind of things that you're trying to see if someone has a fire and they're going to buy your water. You're not going to make a ton of money off of placing ads online. But it builds a recurring customer base. It's not hard to do. It takes a few minutes in the morning. You can go in and post educational articles on LinkedIn about the rising cost of office supplies and mention, ink is one of the highest ones at $9,000 a gallon. Toner's right up there in the same type of category. Where do you get your ink and toner? And then throw in their article about rising cost of office supplies. The amount of ink cartridges sold is 30 per second right now. There'll be 60 per second by 2020. Think about where all those end up. They end up in the landfill. So if you find an angle and you say, hey, save the planet, or you can save a lot of money, or you can stop getting ripped off, you work that angle for a while. You go with consistency of message, you push it out there, you place the ads online under that thought. You also go in and, again, educational articles on LinkedIn to your current network and then to groups that you join. You don't want to go join a group that is other people that sell ink, or an HP group or an Epson group. What you want to do is go in and find an office managers group. You want to go in and find a cost containment group. You want to go in and find other places like that. But when you go into those groups on LinkedIn, you have to make sure you're educational and conversational and not at all salesy, because you will get sent out on your ear faster than you can say help if you get salesy. All right, so we talked earlier about how much do you need a month. Well, if you need $200 to $500, I can show you exactly how to do that right here, right now. If you need $200, refer 5 people a month. You're going to get your $200, and then 6 months from now, you're going to get $400 because you're going to do the same thing, and then you're going to get the other $200 again, and then it'll continue like that. If you refer 5 people and refill 5 printers, that's 20 cartridges, that should be another $250. That gets you up all the way up to $450. So let's say you only do 3 printers and you refill 12 cartridges. You're still in the $300 and something range in profit. If you refill 5, refer 5, and sell 500, you're going to be right around $500 a month. Now, if you need more than that, you just need to up your numbers and start refilling for more people, referring more people, and sending more people to your web store. None of this takes into account anything like the residuals ongoingly, although I just mentioned it as a possibility where 6 months from now that 5 times 40 would double, as long as the people stay on, and they usually do. But plus residuals, plus referrals, so people that know people, and all of a sudden are referring people in, and somebody says, hey, my buddy would want to know about this, you just saved me a bunch of money, and he says, hey, you know what, my wife actually needs something to do during the day, she's bored, she's sitting at home, the kids are in school a lot longer, they're staying for clubs afterwards, she's free from 8:30 in the morning until 5:30 at night, and she's putting together dinner, but that's about it. So again, take a look at your share of the biannual bonus, elite bonus pool. Twice a year, every time one of those inkjet refill stations goes out the door, $31.50 goes back into the biannual elite bonus pool, which everyone splits, founders and elite distributors alike. Now, if you're a founder, the profit pools are so important here, and Business In is so important to you if you're a founder, because you share in 20% of company profits in these pools, both Inkway and AccuBrite. So bringing in business is of paramount importance to you as a founder. It is how you augment that monthly money that you're going to be making when you go out and start selling for others. Your initial, let me go back to this real quick on the examples of the profit pools and the money per month. Let's go here to this one. As a founder, you get 4 inkjet refill stations per $1,000 purchase. That $1,000 can turn into $3,000 on each total of between the 4 inkjet refill stations. So $3,000 back on $1,000 in is pretty doable, and maybe even more than that. So you're up $2,000 on each $1,000 that you put in. Okay, you're netting $2,000. And if you bought 3 units, that's netting $6,000 right out of the gate. But the other part you're doing when you do that is you're introducing more people to Inkway. You're getting them to become long-going customers. You're building a business, and you're starting to build these profit pools. I hope that makes sense to everybody here. If it doesn't, put something in the public chat or send me a private chat, and I'll try to explain it further. Let's talk about going green, okay? Again, 30 inkjet or toner cartridges sold per second right now. It'll be 60 by 2020. It's a huge landfill issue. If you stretch these cartridges out and line them up end to end, they go around the earth 3.5 times right now. It'll be 5 times by the time we hit 2020 at minimum. That's how many of these are ending up in the landfill. Now, why does that matter? Well, millennials and Gen Xers in the offices run the offices now. So when you find a small company that has an office manager, they may lease their equipment and they may get their toner, but they may have other inkjet printers sitting around the office on individuals' desks and things like that, where they still need to purchase inkjet toner or inkjet. They may not get their toner on lease. You'll find people that don't, or you're going to find people that say, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy a machine now that I know I can refill my own toner or I can refill my own ink. I'm going to go buy one for me, and I'm going to start buying ink or toner from you. I've seen that happen. I've seen it happen where I went into a place that had leases, but Their 17-person sales staff now has my store link as one of their, saved as a favorite for them to go back to and order from. A couple of them have ordered the refillable, reusable cartridges and the inkjet bottle packs. That's an awesome thing. Again, you can teach these folks to refill, reuse, recycle, show them how to be an alternative, and then go from there. I mentioned a little bit ago that a lot of people are very potential customers for you. Well, there's 2 printers in every home, 7 in every office. Everyone uses ink. We already covered down here this churches, nonprofits, and schools and sports teams and stuff like that for the idea of doing fundraising. But you've got businesses, whether they're large or small. You've got appraisers, you've got realtors, you've got mortgage brokers, you've got doctors' offices, you've got attorneys. You've got all sorts of stuff all along here that you can use. Then on the private side of things, over here, you've got school kids, parents, seniors, teachers, hobbyists, photographers, on and on and on. So many people use ink, and they use it every single day. So showing them how to save money, showing them how to save the planet, letting people answer the question, where do you buy your ink? And do you know how much most of us pay for a gallon of ink? It's $9,000 a gallon. So do you like getting ripped off like that? Would you like to change that? I can show you how. It's pretty simple. Love to show you how. Let me walk you over here and show you what we do. I can come out and refill your cartridges for you, or I can send you to my web store where you can buy your own cartridges. And I really recommend you make sure, and let's see if your printer actually will handle these refillable, reusable cartridges, because it's the best deal going for you, especially if they want to save the planet. Next, remember, you have a solution for every single printer out there, every single one. You're selling high-quality ink. It wins the eye test 9 out of 10 times. So if we take a print with their ink and a print with our ink off the same printer, ours will be picked as the better-looking one 9 out of 10 times. Same printer, different ink. You get the idea. So what else can you do to leverage your business and grow your business? If you have a need to set up landing pages or capture pages, there's a link on the screen, and I highly recommend you hit print screen here so you have these URLs, you can type them in, and then you can bookmark them. But if you type in there, you've got the bit.ly link for Opportunity Launch up top. Then you've got the video links here for YouTube. One of those is for distributors, to recruit distributors, and one of those is to recruit customers. You can also recruit founders. And one of the places I'm doing some recruiting for founders is over on LinkedIn. I've been going into a couple entrepreneurial pages and asking them, what do they look for in a business? What are the most important things to look for in a business? And if people start listing the types of things we offer, I ping them with a quick notice that, hey, there's a business that we work, that we have running right now that might be of interest to you. It's a lot less expensive to get involved in than a franchise, which we'll get to here in just a minute. It's a lot less expensive to get involved in than these other things. So one way to grow your business is to plug your business, to talk to other business people about your business, because some of them, again, will say, I'd like to do that too. Now, how do you, social media? I think Facebook is a great medium for this. I would set up a potential company page for yourself, so that you're not inundating your friends who are just there to be friends and not be pitched to business-wise about your business. But I would also say that on LinkedIn side of things, there you want to be very careful that you're not pitching business stuff unless you use the promo tab. And it's okay to do a promo every once in a while. I just did a promo for a sales group that I'm in that was for the refillable, reusable cartridges and the inkjet bottle packs. And I said, here, look, this is a special we're running here. Boom, 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 boom. And it worked out well. There were quite a few people responded to it. One of them has actually picked up some other product that I didn't expect them to for something they have at home. It's a pretty rare toner cartridge. Got a quote from us on that, and is going to be picking those up from us. There's all sorts of things that happen, but again, why are they happening? Because we're out talking about them. Why are they happening? Because there's daily interaction, daily correspondence, daily movement. Now, does that happen for every single person right out of the gate? No. And I'm telling you right now that one of the biggest keys is don't be salesy, be helpful. Second key, be consistent, regular presence for the people you're talking to. Don't just show up and post a sale once a month. Don't just show up and scream about cheap ink once a month. If you do that, you're going to sit back and go, I don't understand why this isn't working, because it's not going to work. Because the only people you're going to get are the people that are having a fire and needing water, or out of ink and need an ink, and they may choose you because you happen to yell at the right time. That's not a way to grow a business, though. It's nice to get lucky that way every once in a while, but that's not the way you grow a business. Growing a business takes hard work. Growing a business takes time. But compared to most side jobs you can get, you can make $30 to $50 an hour here versus $8 to $12 an hour at your normal job. Okay? Depending on how you work it, depending on what you do, and depending on whether you're a founder or not. If you're a founder, you can make $30 to $50 an hour here if all the founders are working together and building those pools. And that's very important. Some other bonuses about this. You work your own hours here. Remember that when you're setting up your schedule. Don't overcommit. If you can handle 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, and that's the most you can handle, do that. But be consistent. Don't do 12 hours on a Saturday and then call it consistency. Again, being consistent is really important. One thing I also want to bring up, a lot of people who are looking for a business get shied off because they look at franchises, they look at licensing agreements, and they say, holy crap, these start at like 10 grand, plus there's a lot of extra money, plus there's monthly money I have to pay out. If you're talking to somebody about owning a business and they're talking about those kind of things, tell them I have a business that you can get into for between $1,000 and $5,000, that you're going to get product that's worth that much and more right back to you. And, mind you, that you only have to spend $50 a month to run, and you get all this incredible support. They very well may pay attention to you. They very well may jump in and say, hey, that's what I want. All right. Last but not least, it's time to get motivated, folks, here. We're almost at 12:30, and I promise every single time with these to try to have you done in a half an hour, so you still have a half an hour to eat your lunch. So I want to thank you all for coming. I want to try to make sure you remember to invite people to the webinars Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, Thursdays at noon Eastern. This is obviously the Thursday training webinar. I hope you've gotten a lot out of it. Let's remember to begin by working on asking, where do you buy your ink? And do you know how much ink costs most of us per gallon? It's $9,000 a gallon. Does that sound reasonable? I mean, how do they pull this off? It's because you don't know. Now that you know, do you want to pay that much? No. Okay. Well, let me show you how to get around that. Hey, okay. I've mentioned it before. America's kind of angry right now. They're tired of being taken advantage of, no matter where it is. They're tired of being seen as dupes and schlups and people that don't have a clue, and being taken advantage of by large corporations. And the large corporations, guess what? A couple of them do. They sell ink. This is your chance to be a disruptive force in a very large market, a $70 billion a year market. And you can get your little piece of it. Just start beginning by advertising your website, your ability to refill, leverage the marketing tools and resources to help yourself, ask questions, talk about your business, show people what you're doing. And if you have any questions, send them to us in an email at ceo@inkwayusa.com, ceo@inkwayusa.com. Let us know what you've got going on in your head. Let us know what you've got going on overall. Send in those questions. We'll help you out. We'll take care of you. And we look forward to working with you. Please bring your prospects, bring your friends, bring the people you think might be interested in this as a business to Wednesday night, 8 p.m. webinars. Once they're in, get them to come here on Thursdays at noon. I'm Andy the Inkster Grider. I will be here on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and you can see these webinars again and again to your heart's content on the Inkway USA website. If you just look for the tab right in the middle of the top of the screen, you'll see where it says Training and Webinars. And each week we have this week's webinars will be up sometime either tomorrow or Saturday morning. And we'll have Wednesday and Thursday's new webinars up. We're trying to keep these under 30 minutes per webinar. And we really look forward to being a resource for you and helping you out as you grow your business. I'm Andy the Inkster Grider, signing off. If we've got no questions, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it open for just a second. Any questions? Oh, got one coming into private chat. All right. Susan. When somebody's looking at this as a business, how much can I realistically tell them that they can make? Well, I don't want to squirm on the question, Susan, but the truth of the matter is it really depends on how much work they're going to do. It depends on how easily they're going to give up if they do. Things like that. I mean, honestly, I tell most people, I showed you earlier in the webinar, if you were here at that point, how to make between $200 and $500 a month. A lot of people, that's what they're looking for. That's the part that sends their kid to swim camp, sends their, pays their final bill for the month that wasn't getting paid. It's all those little things that get taken care of that way. I would suggest that you don't overpromise what you can do, but bring them to the website. Bring them to the website. Bring them to the webinars. Bring them Wednesday night. Bring them Thursday night. And if you're there on Wednesday night with them, remind me to answer that question so they can see how to build their business and make that money per month. The other question is, have they said how much they want to make? They want to make $1,000 a month. Okay. That's very doable, especially if they become a founder. And we can talk about that. If you want to, you can send to CEO@inkwayusa.com or Andy@inkwayusa.com. Either way, either Lenny or I will be happy to get back to you, or somebody else will from our consulting team, and we'll get those questions answered. We'll be glad to talk to your person too outside of all this if they don't want to come to a Wednesday night webinar, or if they can't, their schedule doesn't allow it. That's about it for me. I don't see any other questions coming in. I want to thank everyone who turned out today. What a fantastic turnout. What a fantastic webinar. I hope each one of you is engaged and excited and motivated and ready to go make a boatload of money. All right. Go sell ink, folks. Make your day inktastic, and we'll talk to you soon.